Hey guys, Wolf here. Today we're going to go over the team builder section of the week 2 match for the TCL. This week we are facing the winter trainer, aka Carlos, of the Anistair City Aipoms. His team, as you can see on the screen, we got a few doozies. He is the one who drafted first in the league, so he has the M-Gyarados. He also has Thundurus-I, Excadrill, Darmanitan, Shaman, Goodra, Meloetta, Granbull, Seismitoad, Sock, Skuntank, and Dusclops. Overall, a few really key threats that our team's going to have a lot of trouble with. Mega Gyarados, of course, is dangerous because of the Dragon Dance being able to set up. Thundurus-I has Prankster, so we have to be wary of Prankster Thunder Waves. We also have to be worried about Sock and Seismitoad. We don't have a ton of answers to those. Sock we can kind of get by with Rotom Fan and Tornadus Therian, but things like Latios, Latias kind of gets hosed by things like Skuntank, Granbull, of course, so can't really bring those reliably. Mega Gyarados as well takes on Latias very well, especially after a Dragon Dance. So we kind of got to dip into our big bag of tricks for new toys to play with this week. So starting off, we are going with Infernape. Now, Infernape, in terms of his team, has the best coverage. Even neutral hits from things like Flare Blitz and Close Combat. After Swords Dance can definitely one-shot. Thundurus can definitely one-shot. Things like Seismitoad. Just about everything on the team can be hit really hard by this. About the only thing that doesn't live a Swords Dance hit is Dusclops because it has a Violite. So um, we are running Substitute, obviously to help protect against Thundurus Incarnate, being able to Prankster T-Wave us. It also has occasional benefit with Mega Gyarados if it comes in and hasn't Mega'd yet. Blocks Intimidate. So a couple easy benefits with the Substitute. We are going to be able to take advantage of some of his Pokemon to set up very easily. Things like Dusclops. Dusclops is very good setup fodder for this because you normally wouldn't expect a fighting type to switch into a ghost type. Blocks Will-O-Wisp because it's a fire type, and just be able to set up a substitute and just start sword dancing away. Close combat and Flare Blitz, good stab coverage, hits pretty much everything on his team for at least neutral. In terms of stats, I'll be honest, going through the stats, I didn't figure out exactly all the speed tiers this week. Things have been a little bit busy, so for the most part, I just went with standard sets, max speed, max of attack. I didn't, like I said, I didn't really figure out the speed tiers like I normally would to figure out how to get more HP bulk. I didn't think it was that necessary this season because this game is going to be pretty much won or lost on the back of whether or not I can get Infernape or Mamoswine or Scrafty going. If I can't get those guys going, then all the bulk in the world doesn't matter because I'm going to fold really easily, especially if he gets Mega Gyarados online. So, max attack, max speed, 4 special defense out of random just because it's lower than HP. So, not a huge deal. Um, that's pretty much our main attacker, is Infernape. Our main bulky threat that handles the rest of the team that Infernape doesn't, things like Seismitoad, handles all of Sock's coverage, is Venusaur. Mega Venusaur today is going to have Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Synthesis, and Knockoff. We are running Knockoff because in part of Meloetta, also in part of being able to get some extra damage going. We don't really have a fourth move that we want to reliably use. Things like Leech Seed and stuff like that gets blocked by Shaman, being a grass type, of course. It also has incidental coverage on things like Goodra with Sap Sipper, which is a legitimate threat to our team, being as that our main Mega is a grass type. Sap Sipper Goodra is something he could potentially bring, especially if he's going to run an offensive set with like Earthquake or something like that. So we're avoiding the use of grass types as much as we possibly can. We want just enough to be able to handle Seismitoad. Sludge Bomb is to get coverage on Granbull. Giga Drain because we do need a grass type move for Seismitoad of some kind, and then again Knockoff for general utility and catch things like Meloetta on the switch. In terms of bulk, 196 regular defense, calm nature with 60 special defense. I know this looks pretty weird. This secures a few things. One, it puts us within like a 9% range of Meloetta Psychic actually two-hit KOing. For the most part, unless he gets two really high rolls, we should live that just fine. Incidentally, it also has the benefit of guaranteeing the 3-hit KO for Thundurus Incarnate's HP Flying. So we'll be able to take more than 2 hits, synthesis up, and if we have prior damage on him, we can just synthesis stall him out. So that's why we have only 60 special defense, the rest in physical bulk for, again, Mega Gyarados. We need something that can reliably stand in its way if push comes to shove. Now, Mamoswine, rocks will help. Thundurus Incarnate is, of course, weak to rocks. We also have coverage on things like Mega Gyarados, again, before it transforms, it's water flying, so it's got that 25% rocks damage. Darmanitan, 25% rocks damage. So there's a few things on this team that definitely take rocks damage like that. Only, I think, one resists it, and that's Excadrill. Who honestly I don't plan on seeing because I do have two really good fighting types in Infernape and Scrafty who can both go toe-to-toe with them very easily. So, in terms of moveset, we are running just a regular Focus Sash set, nothing too special. Max attack, max speed, Jolly Nature to outspeed anything that might be trying to speed creep us. We are running Oblivious, just because we don't want to get taunted by Mega Gyarados. Thick Fat's kind of irrelevant. And Snowcloak is definitely irrelevant. So Oblivious is just incidental. Just a non-zero chance that it might come into play. In terms of moves, we have Icicle Crash and Earthquake as our main heavy-hitting stabs. We do have Ice Shard to try and outspeed with priority on things like Thundurus Incarnate. And then Stealth Rock, of course. If we can find an opportunity to put rocks up, that'll definitely help our chances of being able to sweep. So, these are our main threats. That being said, we're going to go a little bit more offensive, so we're going to try and make all of our team threatening. Pretty much everything except Rotom Fan can definitely put a huge clock on him. Tornadus Therian, as we said, he is a little bit bulkier. Kind of the special defense to Venusaur's physical defense. We are running, of course, Regenerator on him. Now, in terms of moves, the 240 speed is to outspeed basically a +1 on, I believe, Mega Gyarados. Don't quote me. Oh no, I'm sorry. The 371 is for outspeeding Thundurus Incarnate. I'm pretty sure Thundurus Incarnate only hits 370. I probably should have researched that before the video. But I did do the calcs on this. 371 is the speed tier we needed to hit on this. Put the rest in HP, and then mild special attack for the ability to boost Air Slash just a hair. Now, this might be a mistake. We might be better off putting it in Adamant for the superpower because superpower is probably more important for hitting Mega Gyarados or things like that. But I didn't want to be too soft to Sock if Sock actually comes today. So I prefer the little bit of extra boost. Most of my team can handle Mega Gyarados just fine even after it boosts, so I'm not too worried about it. In terms of coverage moves, yes, we are running Air Slash over Hurricane again. Yes, I realize that I probably should be running Hurricane. It's not because I'm necessarily afraid of running Hurricane. I have ran it multiple times. It's just that Air Slash gives me more reliable damage against Sock, who I'm normally very weak to. So, Knockoff for, again, utility, superpower for dark types like Mega Gyarados, and then U-turn for switch momentum. Now, our final threat for our offensive core is Scrafty. Yes, we are running two fighting types this week. Not necessarily because he's soft to it. He does only have, I think, like 3 or 4 things that are actually weak to fighting. Mega Gyarados, Excadrill, and Skuntank. But I do like the dark typing that this thing brings. More importantly, its ability Shed Skin is a fantastic check to Thundurus Incarnate. If something like Venusaur goes down or Mamoswine goes down, and I don't have a reliable answer to things like Thunder Wave, or if I don't have Rotom Fan coming in, I need something that can soak up a status move and kind of stand toe to toe. So we are running a max HP, max special defense bulk up set. This will help taking on a lot of the special hits from things like Thundurus Incarnate, possibly Meloetta if it's running like Hyper Voice or even Dazzling Gleam. Definitely can survive a Dazzling Gleam from Meloetta, even though it is 4 times effective. We are running Rest, of course, with Shed Skin because Bulk Up Rest set is usually the best set to run with Shed Skin. It just has great synergy. Leftovers to provide incidental recovery, and then Knockoff and Drain Punch for good stab coverage. Now, our final Pokemon, Rotom Fan. We're bringing this because I really want something that can use Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp and Thunderwave especially, but Will-O-Wisp in particular because he doesn't have a fire type except for Darmanitan. Again, who I don't plan on him bringing because I do have a lot of things that can take it on very well. So, Will-O-Wisp is just great coverage on his team. Thunderwave could be incidental on some of the slower threats, things like Dusclops or stuff like that, but overall, I'll probably be spamming Will-O-Wisp more than anything else. Air Slash, of course, for stab coverage, and also gets that Paraflinch action going on. And then we have Volt Switch for switch momentum. Now, in terms of spreads, seems a little weird that we're running a full bulk on Rotom Fan instead of something like a speedy coverage with special attack. We're doing this because it gives some extra bulk versus things like Mega Gyarados at a +1 or even the occasional rocks or something coming our way. He does have a very physical team. Just about everything on his team, barring Thundurus, Shaman, and Meloetta, hit on the physical side. So, pretty much just having 2 physical tanks is definitely a plus over just having 1. And Rotom can generally stand toe to toe with just about anything. Even without special investment, it can stand pretty close to toe to toe with Thundurus Incarnate. So, not a huge reason to worry about it. I brought Rotom Fan over something like Electros, again, because of the Will-O-Wisp. It also helps to note that Mega Gyarados has Mold Breaker and blocks the Levitate off Electros. Rotom Fan being inherently flying can still avoid that Earthquake. So that's a team. I am pretty confident about this team. A lot of it's going to hinge on exactly how well I can pull off Infernape or Scrafty setting up. I should have plenty of opportunities because he doesn't really have a lot of things that can immediately pressure them. So I can generally, I'm looking to probably get a lot of really good switches going off, and then as soon as I find an opening, set up a sub with Infernape, Swords Dance up as soon as I see Dusclops staying in, and then just start punching holes in his team until nothing's left. So that's the game plan. I think the team fits that game plan really well. Tons of good switch momentum with a Volturn core and tons of offensive threats. So I'll be able to chip away at them until I find an opportunity to set up a wall breaker, and I think it'll go really well. So tune in later today. Again, my opponent will be the Winter Trainer of the Anistair City Aipoms. I will have his videos linked in the actual match video, so you can check out my opponent because, again, we're all here to entertain, we're all here to have fun, so make sure to give my opponent support as well as my own channel because we definitely appreciate it. Until then, I will see you guys later today for the match.